Hey folks, I'm just going to make a really quick, really short video because quite honestly, where I live, we are having record-breaking heat. I live in the Pacific Northwest, so we're not used to temperatures above 90, except maybe a few days in August we might get close to 100. We've almost never gone over 100, but here we are. It is the end of June. And just as I'm kind of starting to get into the swing of things, ready to do, it's over 110 where I live, where we don't have air conditioners. Now, I had the computer on today, this morning, because I'm taking a class in a particular kind of reading instructional model that's specific to certain types of learning disabilities. I've seen it work in real life. I use little bits and pieces, but I wanted more training. That's what's going on in my broader life at the moment. Along with some sad news from a couple of different quarters in the last week or so. And I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed. Heat, learning, and grief. Those three things just don't make anything easy. So while I did finish the quilt, and I'm working on that video, I have to wait now until things cool down. So this is a quick and dirty video showing you what's going to be coming up now that the quilt is done. I had hoped to dive right into some medieval garb. I don't think I'm quite there yet. I think it's going to require a little bit more of brain power than I currently have. So here's what we've got. One of our sons and his girlfriend visited recently. Now that they're fully vaccinated and we're fully vaccinated, it felt safe to do that. And we were digging around in my studio and I found this fabric that I purchased in the 1970s to make a t-shirt with. And I held it up to my son's girlfriend and said, "Ooh, that's a good color for you. Would you like this vintage material?" She looked a little unsure. I don't think she's sewn much. So we're going to make a t-shirt for her out of this. And there was a stain on it. I was so worried, but it came right out in the wash. Wonders of polyester. Miracle fabric in the 60s and 70s. Okay. Part 2. I have all kinds of little, what they call cabbage from making the quilt. Some of them are nice strips of 4. Some of them are little blocks in a single color. And I have more of the backing fabric. So I thought in the evenings, my studio, which will stay relatively cool because we're not in there and it's in a shaded spot, I'm going to make some just little trivets like the practice one I was going to do practice quilting on and never did. So that's project number 2. Not sure when we get to the t-shirt piece. Haven't done sewing on knit for a while, so I'm going to need to practice, get some cheap knit to practice on. Okay, next one. I have a pattern that I bought, I think, in 2018. And I bought when we were visiting my grandfather in Ashland, Oregon, going to the Shakespeare Festival. In addition to that, I also purchased some fabrics at a little quilting store in that town. And I bought thread at the same time. So I've got this kind of golden with dots, a pinky red with, looks almost like a batiqued fabric, a light blue with, this is inside out, floral design, and a green with dots. And I thought these 4 worked really well together, so I bought enough to make several aprons as gifts for friends as well as a couple for myself. It's nice to have a new apron, especially in the fall when you go back to school. I'll take my apron to school to work. Okay, so that's that. Apron, little hot pads, t-shirt, and then I have no idea when I purchased these. 2 little cross-stitch bibs. A friend of one of our sons is going to have a baby at the end of the summer. I'm so excited. And I thought, well, they can always use bibs. So I will get this out of my stash. Meantime, I've been in my library now for a couple of hours My new iMac, which I love, does have a pretty high-powered screen, and it has heated this room up. So I am going to cut and run. Literally, I'm going to cut this in to my template, send it to YouTube, and we're just going to call it good enough. I'll have to see if I can get closed captioning in there before I send it off. So there you go. That's what's going on. Those are my plans, and I hope you're having a good day and a cooler one than we're having.